Hi, I'm Helen, and today's class is an intermediate vinyasa flow class around the theme of bird poses. You may need a couple of blocks and a strap. We'll be getting into the shoulders and the hamstrings. I'll see you on the mat. Come to stand on the mat, bring the big toes together with the heels slightly apart. Knees are stacked over the ankles, pelvis is neutral, shoulders are back and down, chin is parallel to the floor. Bring the hands together in Anjali Mudra, so just sealing the little finger side of the hands together, and your palms are open, and just bring them close to the chest. So this is a gesture of offering, and slowly close the eyes. Just center in on the breath. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Now imagine that you're in a forest, and in your palms you're holding the most beautiful and precious baby bird. The bird's feathers are all your favorite colors, those colors that bring you joy and happiness whenever you see them, whenever you wear them. We'll focus today in class on STHIRA and SUKHA. So STHIRA and SUKHA are mentioned in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. Steadiness and ease. So each yoga pose should be a combination of both of these. Strength, effort, and ease and sweetness. And as you think of birds, they embrace both of these qualities in everything they do. They have the strength to soar above us, their beautiful wings extended, but they do so with such ease and grace. So as you move through the poses, some of them will be balances. Try to embrace both of these concepts. Strike a balance between strength and flexibility, stability and ease. Just a couple more breaths here. And then slowly close the palms together, leaving a space between them where you're holding your precious baby bird, and just bring the palms close to your heart. Take a deep inhale, deep exhale, and slowly open the eyes and release the palms. So now we'll start to flow. Inhale, palms come up to the sky. Exhale, down by the sides. Again, inhale, lift. Exhale, release. This time, inhale, lift. Circle the left wrist with the right fingers and lean over towards the right, really grounding into this left heel. Just stretching out the side body. Inhale, center, and over to the other side. So circling the right wrist with the left fingers, grounding into that right heel, leaning over to the left. Inhale, lift. One more time each side. Remembering to breathe. Just enjoying that stretch as we start to move. And inhale back to center and release the hands. So inhale, palms lift to the sky, and exhale, tipping from the hips. We'll come into a forward fold. So we're just warming up here. You can bring the hands to the shins or to the floor, whatever feels good for you. Lengthening out of the waist, so the bend is coming from the waist. And release the upper body down. Inhale, lift up to the sky, palms to chest. chest. Again, inhale, lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, descend. Inhale, rise. Palms to chest. One more of these half sun salutes. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, descend. Inhale, rise up. Palms to chest. This time, inhale the palms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Place the left hand underneath the chest. Bend the left knee. And inhale the right arm to the sky. So we're just getting into this right hamstring a bit more and twisting the back. We're waking up the spine in all of its directions of movement. And exhale, release down. Right hand comes underneath the chest, right knee bends. Release the left arm to the sky. Breathe here. And exhale, release down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, descend. Inhale, palms come up. Palms to the chest. So if you're not already at the top of your mat, come to the top of the mat. Inhale, palms lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, plant the hands, and we'll step back to plank. So 5 breaths here, warming up the whole of the front body. Hands directly underneath the shoulders. Legs are zipped together. Front body's engaged. Breathe here. One more deep breath. And exhale back to downward facing dog. So bring the feet about hip width apart. Hands are shoulder width apart. Knees can be bent. You can have the hands and feet slightly wider if it feels good for your body. And just start to pedal out the legs. So we will be doing some work on the hamstrings in this class. So it's important that we are mindful and treat them well. I find my hamstrings are very temperamental. So I'm always show awareness whenever I'm in any poses that stretch them out. Come to settle the heels, and on an inhale, the right leg lifts to the sky. Exhale, right foot steps up between the hands. Left knee descends. We'll come up into this low lunge. So just waking up the hip flexors here. So you can scissor the hips, bringing this right hip back, left one forward, descending down, keeping this core engaged, just opening up this left hip flexor. So a few breaths here. And then bring the hands down, and we'll bring the hips back for a half split. So if you've got blocks, you can put your hands on them if that's easier. Flex this right foot, pull this right hip back, come forward from the waist and just breathe here. And then we'll move through a few hamstring slides. So inhale, coming forward to low lunge. Exhale, back, half split. Inhale, forward, low lunge. Exhale, back, half split. Inhale, forward to low lunge. Back to half split. Then plant the left hand underneath the left shoulder and just lift this right arm up to the sky. So really pulling this right hip back. Getting another twist in here. Keeping the core engaged. And exhale, come down. Back to low lunge. Lift this back knee. Step back plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts, left foot steps up, right knee descends, low lunge. So we just simmer here for a moment, just waking up this psoas here on the right side, using the breath, practicing ahimsa, which is non-harming, non-violence to our bodies, respecting them, remembering we're just in the opening stages of the practice, so everything needs to be activated and woken up. And then exhale, bring the hips back for this half split. So flex the left foot, pull the left hip back. Remember, you can be on blocks if the floor is not accessible to you. Breathing into the back of the leg, opening up the back of the knee here. Then we'll move through those 3 hamstring slides. So inhale, forward to low lunge. Exhale, back, half split. Inhale, forward, low lunge. Exhale, half Hanumanasana. Inhale, forward to low lunge. Exhale, back, half split. Plant the right hand. Inhale the left arm up to the sky. Pull this left hip back. Feel the twist from the back, the mid to upper back. Embracing Sukha and STHIRA. Cross between strength and ease. And exhale, come back down. Come forward into the low lunge. Plant the hands. Step back. Downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. The hamstrings should feel good. That little bit of movement, waking them up. And then look to the top of the mat. And then slowly walk up. Toes come together. Descend. And then inhale all the way up. Samastatihi, palms to chest. Inhale, bend the knees, and we'll come into Utkatasana, chair pose. So weight can be in the heels. I like to lift my toes, it really engages the core, not arching the back. Tailbone is descending, knees are together. Then inhale, right arm comes back for a twist. Make sure you keep the knees together here. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist to the left, keeping the hips facing forward. Back to center, palms to chest. Round into the left foot, we'll step back, high lunge, right foot. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, bend the knees, cactus the arms, and inhale, straighten both legs. Exhale, descend. Inhale, straighten. Descend. Straighten. Then palms come to the chest. We'll step this back foot forward and come into low Malasana. Garland pose. Couple of breaths here, just waking up the hips. I always think this pose is like a little owl, even though it's known as Malasana Garland pose. Now we move into our first bird. Crow pose. So hips are nice and open, hands are underneath the shoulders. Lift the hips and bring the knees on the back of the arms. So this might be your position. Tip the body forward, maybe the feet come up. Breathe here, looking forward. Remember, this is a counterbalance between the back and the front body. And then come down, step back plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog. downward facing dog. Look forward, bend the knees, empty the lungs. Jump to the front of the mat, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Come back up to chair. One breath here. Then inhale, left arm comes back to center. Right arm comes back to center. Round into the right foot, and this time the left leg steps back. Body lifts. And exhale, cactus the arms, bend the back knee. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Palms come back to the chest. Come forward, Malasana. Breathe here. And then back to crow pose. So hands plant directly underneath the shoulders, knees on the back of the arms. Inhale and lift forward. You can always keep both feet on the ground or one foot on the ground. And then step back or jump back to chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Look forward, bend the knees, jump to the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, come back up to chair and stand. Inhale, palms lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant the hands. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left foot plants an angle. Inhale, step forward. Come up, warrior one. 5 breaths here. Heel to heel alignment. Shoulders away from the ears. Really grounding into the back edge of the back foot. Feeling that stretch all down the left calf. Then hands come down to the floor. Step the back foot in slightly and we'll come into pyramid pose. So pulling this right hip back. Inhale, lengthen out of the waist. And exhale, descend. So again, blocks might come in handy here. Getting into this right hamstring. Just paying attention to your body and the tightness. And then hands come to the waist. Inhale, lift the body. I'm just going to step back slightly here. Bring the hands into reverse namaste. So if that's not within your reach, you can always grab the elbows like this. Lift out of the waist and exhale, come forward again over this front leg. Pulling this right hip back, keeping both feet active, core is engaged. Then inhale halfway up, rotate on the back foot, and we'll come into warrior three. So really grounding into this front foot. Hips are parallel, left leg is engaged, the whole back body is engaged. Get a fixed gazing point. So from warrior three, the transition is into eagle. So bringing this left leg forward, bending into the right leg, maybe double wrapping, keeping the palms in reverse namaste. Find the fixed gazing point. And inhale, release the arms. Left arm comes under right. Really hugging into the midline here, lifting the elbows. Strong and steady. And then the transition, keeping the arms in, eagle arms, is step back, high lunge. Inhale, elbows to the sky. And come back up. Unravel, chaturanga. Take a vinyasa. Facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Second side, right foot plants 45 degrees. Warrior one, left side. 5 breaths here. If it's too much to have your palms together, you can always have the palms open. And exhale, palms come down, hands come down, step this back foot in and come into pyramid. So lengthen out of the waist. Exhale, descend. Breathe here. Then inhale, halfway lift, palms to the hips, or come up. Reverse namaste, or grab the elbows. Inhale, lengthen out of the waist, and exhale, descend over the front leg, pulling that left hip back, keeping that core engaged, using the breath. So you'll probably find that one of your hamstrings is not as open as the other. My left one isn't as open as my right. And inhale, halfway up. Transition is into warrior three. So put all the weight into this left foot and inhale. Right arm, leg lifts. Right hips remain parallel to the floor. Fixed gazing point. Gauge the whole of the back body. And then we move to eagle. So bringing this right leg through, bending into the left leg, double wrap, fixed gazing point, chest lifts. And release the arms. Right arm comes under left. Lift the elbows, sinking into the hips. Tapping into the strength of the eagle and the grace. And then the transition is to high lunge with the eagle wrap. Step the right foot back. Arms come up. Mini back bend. Don't forget the core and the front ribs. And then come up, plant the hands, vinyasa. Again, this time adding on, right foot steps up, warrior one. Exhale, palms to chest, palms come down, pyramid pose. Maybe readjust the feet slightly. Right hip pulls back, body descends. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to hips, come up, reverse namaste. Lengthen out the waist and exhale, come forward. Maybe getting a bit deeper this round. Then inhale, halfway lift, come into warrior three. Strong and steady, get that balance. Hips parallel to the floor. back leg bone straight. And we come up, eagle. Left leg crosses over right. Really zip those legs together and bend into the knees. Chest lifts, fixed gazing point. Release the arms, left arm under right. That nice stretch all between the shoulder blades. And then step back, high lunge with the eagle wrap. Inhale, elbows up to the sky. And then come back up. And this time the hands come down. We come back into this pyramid pose. We move into fallen flamingo. So for this, you may need your blocks. If you have blocks, put them either side of your, probably the shin. Hands go back, facing backwards. So if your hands aren't fully on the floor, then I recommend blocks. Pull this right hip back. You're going to start to put weight into the hands. Come up onto the back toes and bring the knees together. Now this might be your position, or maybe you lift the back foot. So this is quite tough on the hamstring. Breathe here. And then release back. Bend into the front knee, plant the hands. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, wipe the slate clean. Exhale, downward facing dog. Side B. Right foot plants, left foot comes up. Warrior one for one breath. Exhale, plant the hands. Pyramid. Breathe here. Inhale, hands to the hips, come up. And then reverse namaste. Lengthen out of the waist, coming forward, over this front leg again, this time with the hands bound behind. Remember, you can always just grab the elbows if reverse namaste is not available to you. Being accepting of where you are in your body. Then inhale, come up, transition, warrior three. Left leg, straight and strong. You can have a micro bend in the knee if that feels good. And then we'll come forward to eagle. Whoops. Right leg over left. Lift the chest, engage the core, hug into that midline. And then right arm comes underneath the left, lift the elbows and breathe. And then unravel back to high lunge. Elbows to the sky, mini back bend. Start to center in on the breath, reconnect. Re-engage. Then inhale, come up, hands come down, and we'll do fallen flamingo side B. So again, pulling this left hip back, right hip forward, hands face the back of the room. Come on to the back toe. This might be your position. This is already very intense on this left hamstring. So do what's right for you. Maybe you can lift the back leg. And then release back. Plant the hands. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a free breath here. And we'll move on. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, right foot steps up between the hands. Warrior two. 5 breaths here. Hips, shoulders are stacked over the hips. This front cheek is scooped under. Knee above the ankle. Breathe. And moving into side angle, so the arm can come to the thigh or inside the front leg. Top arm swoops down, up and around. Reach. Side angle pose. Really try to open this chest to the sky. Keep an equal weight in both feet. Gazing point is the palm. And then bring the top arm behind. Snuggle this right shoulder under. Maybe you can bind. So this is where your strap might come in handy. If you're doing the bind, the bottom hand does the grabbing. Breathe here. If you've got the bind, release. Come back out the way we went in. We'll move into triangle pose. So you may want to bring the back foot in slightly. Readjust. Top arm releases to the sky. And breathe. So triangle, the hand can come to the floor, the shin, a block, the big toe, whatever feels good for you. Really externally rotating this right thigh, stacking the shoulders, both sides of the waist along. Then inhale, come back up, cartwheel down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Left foot between the hands, warrior two. Get your stable base. Breathe here, 5 breaths. Front knees over the ankle. Hips are parallel. Arms are on a shelf. Engage the inner back leg. And breathe. And then moving into side angle, so the arm can come to the side. If not, to a block or to the floor, sweep the top arm down, up and around. Opening the chest to the sky. Long line from the back foot to the top hand, and breathe. And if you want to go for the bind, top arm comes behind, left shoulder snuggles under, and grab. And then release, and we'll come into triangle. So straighten that front leg. Top arm releases to the sky. Breathe here. Paying attention to that hamstring. Should be very warm and open now. And inhale, we come up. Vinyasa. You can always skip the vinyasas and just go straight to dog. Whatever's good for you, it's your practice. Adding on, right leg to the sky, step up, warrior two. 1 breath here. And then into side angle. Inhale, top arm down, up and around, really reaching out of the waist. And then we'll take the bind, Few breaths here. And then from here we're going to move into bound triangle. So this is a quite difficult pose, so please, please, please remember your hamstring. You may want to step in slightly. Start to straighten this front leg. So if it still remains bent, that's fine. Just pay attention to your body. And only do what's good for you. Go into your edge, not go into pain. So now we'll move into bird of paradise. So bend this front leg, keeping the bind, put all the weight into this front foot and step the left one forward. Start to pour all the weight into this left foot. Come up onto the ball of the right foot. Really engage this left leg. Helps to activate the core and your root lock, your Mula Bandha. And keeping the bind will start to stand up. So this might be your position. If it is, this is great. Just stay here and be content. Or you may start to straighten this right leg. Breathing, remembering your steadiness and ease, finding that sweetness in all the effort. And then we'll come out the way we went in. So bend the leg, come down slowly, using the strength of the core, keeping the bind. Left foot steps back. Unravel the arms. And then plant the hands. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a free breath. So now you see why we did all that hamstring work. That pose requires openness in the shoulders and also in the hamstrings. Last side. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, left foot steps up. Come up. One breath. And then moving into side angle. Inhale, arm comes forward, gazing point is that palm. And then we'll move into the bind. Remember, you can always use your strap here. Couple of breaths here, and then the next transition is into bound triangle. So again, be very mindful of that left hamstring. You may want to step the back foot in slightly and breathe here. So I can't really get this leg straight in bound triangle, but that's cool. So you'll see this is actually the pose bird of paradise, but not balancing. And then bend this front leg, step forward with the right foot, all of the weight into the right foot, engage the core, and keeping the bind, slowly stand up. Left leg straight. I find this side a lot more tighter. Breathe here, be content with where you are. And then come out the way we went in. Right leg steps back, unravel, and come back. Take a vinyasa. Wipe that slate clean as you come up into upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. In fact, we'll come to child. So knees come down, big toes together. And just release the body to the floor. Release any expectations. Be content with where you were, because that's the only place you needed to be in your practice today. So we've got one more balancing sequence to do. Which is a fun balance. So when you're ready, come up to downward facing dog and just walk the feet to the middle of the mat. And we'll come and stand up into the center of the mat. So we'll come into tree pose. We couldn't really do a class about birds without honoring tree. And we're going to move from tree into flamingo. So this pose is actually a lot harder than it looks. So just do what you can. Enjoy it. If you fall over, laugh. If you do it, then treat that with the same equanimity that you treat falling over with. So grounding into, I'll mirror you, the right foot. Open this left leg out. So you're externally rotating the hip. We'll come into tree. So your tree might be here. Do the tree that suits you. Really pressing the standing leg into the foot of the bent leg. That's SUKHA and STHIRA. Palms at the heart. Fixed gazing point. Activate your root lock. It really gives so much stability in these balancing poses. Fixed gazing point. Maybe release your arms up like your branches. Breathe here. Rooting down to rise. Nice steady base. Now start to think about your left bent leg. Start to engage it and bring it up in towards the waist. You're going to internally rotate this left arm and come into a bind again. So you can use the strap. What I'm going to do is I'm going to face this way to show you the pose. So we're in this bind here. Now this might be your position. Start to activate this root lock if it's not already activated. Standing leg is straight and strong, core is engaged. We're now going to tip forward slowly from the waist, lengthening out of the spine for flamingo. Using the breath. Do what you can do. Come back up and release. Shake it out. So that is a hard pose. Reconnect before we move on to the second side. Palms to chest and breathe. Just calm the nervous system. And then we'll move into tree on this side. So I'll face this way. Grounding down into this left foot. Externally rotating the right hip. Tree pose. Get your tree. Palms to the chest. Scooping this glute under. And maybe releasing your branches up to the sky. Then you start to think about this right leg, engage in this hip, come into the bind, lengthen out of the waist, and engage in the core. Forward, flamingo. Come back up. Release, shake it out. Enjoy. Deep breath in, deep breath out, and we'll come down onto the back. So just bring the knees into the chest. We'll do a couple of back bends just to seal the class. So feet come down. We'll start with bridge. Hip distance apart, just touch the back of the heels, ground into the shoulders, and inhale, pelvis lifts to the sky. Really lengthening the lower back, knees are going towards the front of the room. Breathe in here. So this pose is known as the pose of forgiveness, so forgive yourself for any pose that you can do. Don't beat yourself up about it. The journey of yoga is the challenge, the falling out of all the poses, because that's the real lesson, what we learn about ourselves and how we deal with those things. And then exhale, release. So you can do bridge again, or if Urdhva Dhanurasana is in your practice, you can come with me. If you don't know what Urdhva Dhanurasana is, I would suggest you don't do it. You can just do bridge again. Palms come by the shoulders. Fingertips facing the shoulders. Grounding down into the heels. Equal balance in the feet. Inhale, lift the pelvis. And then we'll come on to the top of the head. Maybe readjust, and then inhale, straighten the arms and breathe. So try to get the arms as straight as possible, lengthening that lower back. Imagine you're pushing the chest into the wall. And then lift the chin and we'll come down slowly. Allow the back to settle. Just stay here, maybe windshield wiper the legs. We'll do one more. So plant the feet. Inhale the arms to the sky, hands come by the ears, fingertips facing the shoulders. Lift the pelvis, engaging the core. Engaging the backs of the legs, grounding down into the hands. We come up onto the top of the head, wrapping these shoulders in, and inhale, lift up. 5 breaths here. When you're ready, release down gently. Don't bring the knees in straight away to the chest. Just gently windscreen wiper the knees from side to side. You should feel really elated now, I know I do. And then just bring the knees in and give yourself a little hug. We'll finish with a twist, so the cactus the arms and just allow the knees to fall over to the right, maybe facing the left side with the face. Twist is so good to do after back bends. Then inhale to center. Exhale, knees over to the other side. Maybe facing the right side with the face. Feels good. Then inhale back to center. Give yourself one last squeeze and then release the legs out one by one into final relaxation, Shavasana. Allow the body to melt into the floor and breathe here. So as you lay here in Shavasana, just reflect on the class, all the poses you tried. Some were very challenging. In any class, the pose isn't the goal. It's what you learn about yourself as you practice. That is what yoga is all about. If you fell down and you got back up and tried again, that's the real lesson. That's yoga. And when we face these challenges in class and we respond to them rather than react with frustration or internal anger at ourselves, when we respond to them in a neutral, open-minded way, we can take these lessons off of the mat and apply them in our everyday life. We've spoken about SUKHA and STHIRA throughout class, and you can apply these principles to your everyday life as well. Do you get enough balance between strength and effort and ease and sweetness? Are you always 100% on the go, never giving yourself a break? Or do you spend a lot of time lazing around, not doing much? Try to find the balance between these things in all aspects of your life. This is what's so great about yoga, is it just is such a great tool to help us live the best lives we can and really tune in into who we really are. So start to wiggle the fingers and toes, bringing some movement back into the body. Maybe full body stretch, interlacing the fingers over the head. And then bringing the knees in one by one to the chest. Couple of rocks from side to side. And then gently falling over onto your favorite side. And then keeping the eyes closed, slowly push yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Place the palms face down on the knees. This is a symbol of grounding. Observe the breath. Observe how you feel, mentally and physically. And then bring the palms to the chest. Raise them to your third eye, for your intuition. Bring them to the lips, for communication. And bring them back to the heart. Sending all these great vibes and positive energy we've generated in the class to everybody that you know. And slowly open the eyes. So I hope you enjoyed that class. These poses are challenging. I struggled with some of them, but we keep practicing, we keep showing up every day. Then we develop our practice and move forward, both on the mat and in our everyday lives. I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.